Welcome, everybody. It is week eight. Wow, it's week 8 of the NFL season. I'm joined with Andy. I got Al in this corner, Danny below me. We got a lot of picks for you, a lot of guaranteed winners. But before we do anything, we got to drink some beer. So let's get it.
Cheers.
Bronco,
ready to chug some beers and make some bad gambling picks. Welcome.
No jokes during
ChuggieBets.
guys. Come on.
Do you have to practice high fives when you do it?
I'm going to do that TikTok. Faith, family, football. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining ChuggieBets today. We are getting weirder than the Giselle Tom Brady divorce paperwork is coming in, and we're ready for it. But let's go through last week. We had a banging NFL week. Well, your boy didn't, but Andy went 3-3. Al cleaned up 6-3. Won his ChuggieBet. Absolutely crushed it. Danny couldn't make it last week, but he's got winners this week, so don't worry about it. So Al, considering you're the only one with a ChuggieBet and you're the winner of the week, we're going to start with you. What did you learn last week in the NFL?
Oh, man, I learned that the Packers are officially done for. Actually, how about this? Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, you can officially write them off. You can officially count them out. They are done. They are not turning the ship around. I'm going to enjoy so much watching them sink and fade off into oblivion.
So it turned out marriage and sobriety were important to being good at football.
It's a good one.
So I was thinking about this weekend, and just hypothetically, let's say they are both done, and they both are going to retire. Do you think the thought of I don't want to retire in the same year as that other guy because of the Hall of Fame enters into their thought process? They don't want to retire at the same time they're eligible. Yeah, give me my year, bro. If we retire at the same time, because they're both first ballot Hall of Famers, right? Everybody agrees on that. So
I think for sure
I
this
would
is
think
Brady's
about it.
last year. I think Rodgers would be happy to just milk out his contract and play subpar football until nobody wanted him anymore.
Rodgers will be a backup for that $45 million a year they're giving him right now.
He for sure is just going through the motions. I've never seen
fully guaranteed, I believe, too. It was a ridiculous contract.
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. What'd you learn, Dan?
Yeah, they were terrible. But I also never want to write off Aaron Rodgers, and I've written off Tom Brady 5 times, and then he's had a bunch of Hall of Fame careers.
This is the time, though. This is the time. This is the one.
It's better to just stay in the market than try and time the market. So Tom Brady, I'm just going to stay thinking Tom Brady's good until he retires.
And Aaron Rodgers threw some absolute dimes in that game. Same thing with Tom Brady. That Mike Evans drop was bananas to start the game. They should have been up early. And who knows, the whole thing could have felt different. Or you could have followed your boy. And I said 11 points is too many for Carolina. But I acquiesce. Danny, what did you learn last week?
I learned that if you're playing on Sunday Night Football and you have an entire expose with Maria Taylor before the game on how you're going to change the way you're playing football because of your recent concussions, and you're telling everybody you're going to play more safely and you're going to try and avoid hits and you're going to throw the ball away more, but the very first time you're running the ball on third down, you put your head down and you run directly into a linebacker, maybe we can't believe you when you say you're going to throw the ball away. Tua, slide. I learned that Tua doesn't.
Yeah. I think he literally
played
dove
baseball
first while they were showing that interview.
We love you, man. We love you. The whole country loves you. We want to watch you play football for a long time. You talked about extending your career. Just please slide. I know that's how Trent Green died in a Dolphins uniform, but nobody's going to hit you. Nobody's going to hit you.
There was an interview a couple years ago where Alex Smith is a bad martyr to rely on, but he said the only time he ever got a concussion is the time he tried to slide feet first instead of the times he slid head first, but he also almost lost his leg. So I don't know if he's what you want to rely on. Andy disappeared, but I'll tell you what I learned from this year. I learned that Jacksonville is really close to New York City. I didn't know that. But, man, when I was watching the Red Zone the other day, all they did was focus on all the Giants fans. And it looked
a lot of New Yorkers. Yep.
A lot of New Yorkers. And I learned that Pittsburgh's really close to Miami also. I didn't know this. I'm obviously not really good at geography, but there were a lot of terrible towels and a lot of blue jerseys in the state of Florida this weekend. Andy, did you learn anything else?
As a former Miami Dolphins season ticket holder, I will say when the Pittsburgh fans travel down here, they are literally the best. They're the best. When they come down, they're the nicest. When they whooped our butt sometimes and they were nice, and then when we would beat them and they were nice. It was not like when the Bills and the Jets and the Eagles fans comes down here and it's like, oh, they were all jerks all the time and there were fights in the stands and stuff. The Pittsburgh fans, they would like plan family vacations to come down here and watch the game. Pittsburgh fans, love you. You're the best.
There's a restaurant like 2 blocks from my house that was on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives like 10 years ago, and every time a team travels well to a Jags game, that restaurant is like slammed, full crowded. So I can always get a good gauge on how well a team travels based on just like taking a little stroll around the neighborhood. Bills, Steelers, and Giants definitely travel well.
Andy, did you learn anything else from the NFL weekend?
I learned to stop betting against Geno Smith. I am not convinced that he's the real deal, but I am tired of losing money, so I am just going to sit that game out this week. I know I said last week that I would keep betting against him until he was holding up the Lombardi Trophy, but I'm out. I'm tired of losing money, which probably means this is the week they'll lose. But I'm out on betting against Geno Smith for now.
Al and I invited you on the parade float. We invited you, said we're going to be there. We're ready for it. You denied us.
It just took me an extra week to get there.
Yeah. So last week we did. Oh, sorry, Al. What you got, buddy?
You good? Keep going.
Last week we did a segment talking about 3-3 teams, and I think we may have been wrong about a lot of them, but we have another team that finally hit 3-3 and won, and it's the Indianapolis Colts. So we're playing winners or losers. Danny, you weren't here last week. Do you think the Colts will have a winning record or a losing record? Unfortunately, they could also have like an average record, right? Because they have the tie. But if you had to choose, do you think winning or losing? And tell us why.
I think the Colts are going to have a losing record because they weren't good with Matt Ryan, and now they're going to have a Texas quarterback. And historically, Texas quarterbacks can't really hold jobs outside of Vince Young. They don't tend to be very good. I think the only one who's held a job for multiple years is Colt McCoy, unless you go back to like the 40s. So I just don't think Ellinger is going to come in and be any better than Matt Ryan was. So they're gonna get slightly worse for the rest of the season, and that would make them less than 500.
Yeah.
Al, what you got, buddy?
So I really want to believe in this Colts roster. I think they have talent. I think they are capable of having a winning record and more. But the quarterback position is definitely holding them back. Matt Ryan isn't it. Sam Ellinger sure as shit isn't going to be it either. So barring a deadline trade for some other quarterback somewhere that is capable of playing mistake-free football, this is a losing team, losing record team, losers.
They should have gone after Baker Mayfield.
They still should.
Andy, you have a thought on this?
Yeah, I'm sad that it's happened. First of all, the quarterback change, because I've been down on them since preseason. Everybody thought, oh, they're a quarterback away. They get Matt Ryan, they're going to be great. And I said, Matt Ryan is not the answer. So I'm sad that's moving on. I think there's a chance that Ellinger is actually a slight upgrade over the current Matt Ryan. I don't think he'll have a better career than Matt Ryan by any stretch, but like current Matt Ryan, I think there's a chance it's a slight upgrade. And I think a lot of it depends on the rest of that division too, right? The Jags have looked bad. The Texans have looked bad. So I think, you're going to play teams like that multiple times. I think there's a chance they go over 500 with the slight upgrade at quarterback and a bad division.
So my argument against him being a slight upgrade is watching a couple of, just the way they're coming across the red zone. Matt Ryan still shows flashes of being Matt Ryan. And I don't know if Sam Ellinger is going to show those flashes. And I think they're going to start running a really constipated offense. And maybe that'll
3 picks a game.
Yeah.
9
But,
sacks a
yeah,
game. His
turnovers.
sack rate is bananas. I think he likes.
Yes, I
being-
think Ellinger's going to get sacked too. Yes, I think Ellinger's going to get sacked too. He's a little more mobile. He can run for sure. He can run. I'm not gonna take that away from him. But running away from NFL defensive linemen is a little different than trying to run away from Big 12 defensive ends and linebackers.
I also wonder if Frank Reich likes having a young guy he can mold his way in Ellinger versus having this, fossil in Matt Ryan who's stuck in his own ways. And I don't know if there's been any rift between the two, but it seems like a good opportunity where Matt Ryan says, I know you want to do it that way, but I, did it this way in Atlanta for 10 years. Let me do it my way. And then you get 3 picks a game and, all shit breaks loose. So it'll be fun to see. I hope the best for Ellinger, but I'm not expecting much.
Yeah. I think I'm going to cop out. I think they're going to end up 8-1. I think they're going to be improved. Hey, I'm playing the toughest angle here. I think they're going to be improved. Matt Ryan's lack of mobility, he gets sacked like 9 times a game, and it's an atrocity. And he invites the sack. He does the savvy NFL veteran thing where he falls over, and he never tries to extend the play. Sam Ellinger is going to extend the play, which means they're going to lose some games because of it, but they also may be more competitive because of it. I'm going to put them right at 500 for that, but
So you're the guy who bets double zeros on the roulette wheel?
I never am that guy.
There is. Go ahead.
No, Danny, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say the other side of the argument is that Jonathan Taylor's better in the second half of the season historically, and Sam Ellinger is going to be dumping the ball off a lot. Jonathan Taylor's good at catching the ball out of the backfield. I know that I think Deion Jackson is their guy who's better at that, right? Deion Jackson is their scat back. I don't know. It's one of their backup running backs that is a better pass catcher than him, or they use more as a pass catcher than him. But Jonathan Taylor can do it also, and I think Michael Pittman Jr. is pretty good on the screen passes, and they're gonna have a lot of short balls. They don't have a great tight end, right? And Sam Ellinger's gonna be throwing a lot of short passes. That's my take, and that's gonna help Jonathan Taylor. That might actually help him win because Jonathan Taylor's good. He's the best player on that offense by a lot.
Easily.
I'm done talking about the Colts.
All right.
Sorry.
One more question. We can make this quick. Would you rather have Russell Wilson and his contract or Geno Smith and his contract on your team right now?
Dude, forget the contract. I'd rather have Geno Smith and Russell Wilson's contract. I'd rather have Geno Smith and Russell Wilson's contract.
Andy, you have a thought on this? Hater?
No, it's got to be Russell. It's got to be Geno for sure. Russ can't play, and they're paying him incredible amounts of money. It's insane.
I mean, he has to get right? Like, this cannot be the new Russ Wilson, right?
No, I think Tom Brady has warped all of us. Like, quarterbacks hit a wall and they fall off, and it can happen suddenly. Like, Tom Brady is
like with Matt Ryan. Like what happened with Matt Ryan. And Matt Ryan's one of those guys who's like a health nut too. It's just Tom Brady is also, he's like a special kind of obsessed about football, where like he will literally give up a marriage to Giselle in order to be obsessed with football. And nobody else would do that, right? No other human being would give up their wife and kids for their job.
It's Nathaniel Hackett. It's Nathaniel Hackett. That's the problem. I think Russ could go to a different team and be 90% of what he was in Seattle. In Denver, I don't think he'll ever be 50% of what he was in Seattle.
That dude has to be fired this year, right? Nathaniel Hackett is like the quickest from a good coach to a sitting duck coach I've ever seen. That guy's offense sucks.
It's not pro football, but Venables is pretty close, man.
Venables he's towing that line very closely. And Brian Harsin still has a job. It's crazy. What a crazy
It is crazy.
You should listen to the college podcast as I fired him. But let's get into the picks. We've talked enough. Let's talk Thursday night. We got a good one, actually. Well, should be a good one. We got Baltimore going into Tampa Bay. Al, what's your play on this, buddy?
Yeah, I'm laying the 1.5 with the Ravens. So the Ravens have not done a good job of closing games out, but like I said, I think the Bucks they just don't have it this year. So give me the Ravens. They'll go in there. They'll get it done. I also like Danny's pick. I'm not going to follow him on it officially, but I'll probably actually end up betting it. You're on the under 45?
Yeah, I took the under 45. I wanted to bet Tom Brady minus 1.5 or plus 1.5. Anytime you're getting points with Tom Brady, I feel like you need to take him. But he's just been so bad without Gronk. You look at Tom Brady's numbers without Gronk versus with Gronk over his career, and he's like, it's the difference between being a good quarterback and a bad quarterback. Because he wasn't much of a passer earlier in his career before he got him, and then he had several years with Gronk where he's the best quarterback in the whole world, and then now Gronk's not playing with him anymore, and he's not very good. So maybe that's the whole thing. Maybe it's not the divorce. Maybe it's not all this. Maybe it's just that big dumb animal running down the middle of the field that can jump up real high and catch balls and hurts everybody around him.
We're talking about the wrong divorce, not him and Giselle, but him and Gronk.
Gronk in football, really. It's not him and Gronk, it's Gronk in football. But yeah, so I decided not to bet Tom Brady because of that specific reason, even though I do like betting on Tom Brady. And I went for the under instead because I think that Thursday night unders are a pretty good bet in general. And, Tom Brady's not putting up a lot of points recently, so without Gronk.
I love a good Thursday night under. I'm scared of these two teams on the Thursday night under, but I will probably lean in because I can't help it, baby. I love unders. Let's go to 9:30 a.m. We're going to London, but we're not going to that crappy Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with that crappy Tottenham Hotspur team. We're going to Wembley. Big time, baby. And
except Son. I like Son. Everybody else sucks. Sorry. Go
we got Denver coming in to face Jacksonville at home. Maybe their future home. Interesting. But I think Al's got to play here. What you got, buddy?
Oh, we're going to bloody London. We're going to cracky London. That's cracky. So
it's really bad.
Yeah. We're going to have to clean up the audio there a little bit. I think I just had a seizure.
We don't have audio engineers, Al.
I'm absolutely leaving that
in. Broncos +4. And so here's the thing. The Broncos have not covered as these short dogs they've been recently. The smart money is still betting it, though. And then I am just categorically opposed to betting the Jags as favorites. I'll bet them as dogs, but I'm not betting them as a favorite. I don't like it. They do have the experience in London and doing all that travel shit, but if the Broncos are ever going to get right, this is a good spot to do it. That said, you may want to consider this a hedge, if you will. But I'm also taking under. It's at 39.5, which is low. I think it already dropped like a touchdown. So I'm getting to this number late, but I still like it. This is one of those things you're going to wake up and it's going to be like 9-3 halfway through the third quarter.
I like the under, Al. I also usually like the dogs when you're betting the under, but in this case, I'm going to go with the favorite. And the reason it being, both of these teams have been disappointing this season. I think Jacksonville had a real hot start, and then just last 4 games have been turning the ball over too much and haven't been able to score the way that they want to. And I think that between these two quarterbacks, the one that's more likely to turn it around is the good one, not the bad one. And when I say the good one, I mean the one that isn't doing weird social media stuff with Matt's got it. He's doing the dance. He's doing a little TikTok dance. The one that doesn't practice his high fives fake when he's running out of the tunnel in practice. It's so weird. Everything he's doing is so weird. You know what Trevor Lawrence is probably doing during all that time? Watching film, trying to get better because football's important to him. Russell Wilson already thinks he's perfected football. So and he clearly hasn't because he hasn't scored more than 20 points in the last 5 games.
I think Trevor is the ultimate underrated wife guy. Okay, you think Russ Wilson is a wife guy? Trevor Lawrence, big time wife guy. They're neck and neck.
Yeah, but he's the kind of wife guy that isn't all about everybody else seeing him be a wife guy. Yeah. He just is. He's just a good husband.
Oh, so wait, Russell Wilson just likes people to see him be a good husband, but he doesn't actually care about being a good husband, where Trevor Lawrence likes to be a good husband.
Well, he just actually is.
Just actually is, but it's not like flaunting it. He's like, baby, I got you flowers.
I don't even think being a wife guy is being a good husband necessarily.
Okay.
Like your life and your personality is your wife, and there's lots of room to not be good and also have that be your life. But yeah,
I guess that's really true. I see what you're saying.
Two
there.
guys I don't want to hang out with, basically, is what I'm saying.
I agree with you. I don't want to hang out with either of them, but if I have to bet on one of them to win a football game, I'm going to go with the one that's 22 and is getting better instead of the one that's 35 and getting worse.
So from a personality perspective, do you think Russell Wilson would have been a better quarterback to be under Dabo Sweeney's system, because they're the same kind of lame instead of Trevor Lawrence, right?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if Trevor Lawrence isn't that kind of lame. I do know that he's really good at football, and I know that he's obsessed with football and being good at it. I don't know that
Russ played under Barry Alvarez at Wisconsin before he retired.
Yeah, he was at NC State before that too.
Yeah, he was at NC State for 4 years. Remember him running all over us when we were in, we were Canes.
I'm not sure Dabo would have been okay with the long hair.
Russ strikes me as a guy who'd get conned into going to play for Chip Kelly and hating it, but like pretending he didn't.
Russ seems like a Scott Frost guy, right? He seems like the Scott Frost system.
Yeah. He buys the con.
Huskers country. Sure. Let's ride. All right, I think we've done enough with that game. Let's get the hell out.
Heung-Min Son with the game-winning field goal, right?
Yeah. Let's get us back into the stateside. We got a real banger. We got Carolina going into Atlanta. I'm going to let Andy lead us off here because he's the only one.
Because he's wrong.
The other three of us are on the different side.
Yeah.
Andy, why do you like Carolina to cover the points?
So I think it's possible that Matt Rule was the problem in Carolina and Baker Mayfield, that those were the two biggest problems in Carolina. And they're both no longer going to be problems. And I have been the Falcons whisperer. I think I've made money on every Falcons game this year, and I got off the train in the exact right time. I bet against them. I laid the points with Cincinnati last week. I think it was a fun story. It was a fun story, but it's over. Not that they won't win any more games or anything like that, but I think kind of the Cinderella-ness of it, of them covering every spread. And so this is not a good Atlanta Falcons team. And to lay points, I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to take the points with Carolina. And we have been historically very bad when three of us are on the same side. So all three of you being against me, I feel great right now.
The Panthers aren't getting 13.5 in this game though, like they did against Tampa Bay. I know that they didn't need any of those.
No.
They didn't need any of those points. But I don't see how you would bet Carolina ever on anything.
Let me just make this case real quick for us on Atlanta. Andy, chug a beer.
So Carolina's spreads this year. They in the last 5 games they covered the 2 against New Orleans, but that was the New Orleans game right after the Jameis injury, and then they didn't cover 1 against Arizona. They didn't cover +6 against San Francisco. They didn't cover +10 against the Rams, a bad Rams team, and then or like a really off Rams team that's not playing very well. I wouldn't call them bad because they did go to the Super Bowl last year. And then they covered 13.5 against the Tom Brady team. Like the Panthers are not good.
That game last week is an anomaly, right? Like they changed everything. They got PJ Walker in there. Mike Evans drops the ball. He gets a 100 targets in that game. It all didn't add up well. Brian Burns, by the way, come on home, baby. Dolphins, go get him. I'm going to do this all the time. Cardinal Gibbons alumni, we want you back. But I think Atlanta's a lot better. And I don't think Atlanta's particularly great, but I think they're a lot better than the Carolina team. If you're going to roll the dice here, I think you take Mariota and the boys to cover that.
This is going to be the first game the Falcons are favored in.
That should scare you. That should scare you.
Hold on. Shouldn't that scare you? The Falcons are favored against the team that you're
right. So I get points playing against a team that's never favored. That's amazing. I love it.
All right.
All right, let's go to the place with the big star on their helmet. We got Chicago going into Dallas. Chicago won a good game tonight. I don't know if it was a good game. I wasn't watching, but I know Chicago beat New England on the road. They're going back out to Dallas. We all look like we're alignment here. Al, start us off here, bud.
Yeah, I think the Bears defense gets overlooked here. We're talking, let's see, they've given up 132. I don't know if this is counting tonight's game, but they're solidly upper half of the league defensively. We all know what the Cowboys defense can do, so I don't expect the Bears much in this one. That said, I don't know if I am a fan of taking the spread here. So I'll just take the under, and we'll just enjoy a nice casual 12-9 game.
Danny?
Yeah. So I'm with you on the under here. I don't think either of these teams are going to score a lot of points against each other. I think that Justin Fields' 33-point outburst against New England was a anomaly. He did play kind of well. I mean, he threw for almost 200 yards and the one interception and one touchdown. Now, this is something that he has done the last couple of weeks, is run for over 80 yards, and he got a touchdown today. So, Justin Fields, when he was in college and he was at his best, he was running the ball a lot. Running for over 100 yards in a lot of games when he was at Ohio State. And if they're going to start letting him do that a little more, I think that will improve his passing a lot. So I still don't think they're going to score a lot of points against the Cowboys. That Cowboys defense is good. I can't remember the guy's name that's in the middle, their pass rusher that is just so
Micah
good. Micah Parsons. That guy is going to get to him, and I don't think Justin Fields can outrun him. Justin Fields is fast. I don't think he can outrun Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is an athlete. I just think that the under is going to play here.
Yeah, Dallas has an upper echelon defense. Chicago has a pretty good defense. I was not pleased with what I saw from the Dallas offense with Dak coming back, especially against a bad Lions defense. I was not impressed with everything that they did there. I think the right play here is under 43. I'm with you guys. Andy, can we tease you in? Can we get you in? Can we hook you?
Hang on. Sorry, I'm Googling 40 times. Micah Parsons did run a 4.3, and Justin Fields ran a 4.4.
Holy shit. 4.3?
Dude, I told you.
Sorry, 4.39.
I told you. He's really fast. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's what they call an athlete.
I'm not going to play this. I don't know. Dallas's offense didn't look great. So I like that part of it, but the Bears put up a lot of points tonight against Belichick. So I'm going to sit this one out. Sorry, guys.
No, that's okay. Dallas has the second best defense so far. I feel good about the play. Outside of Philadelphia, Dallas has been super good on the defensive side, and I didn't expect it going in the year. So I hope that continues. The Chicago's offense sucks. Let's go to Detroit. Oh, boy. This is a good one for everyone on this thread. We got Miami going into Detroit to the Pontiac Silverdome, or whatever the hell they call it now. And Al, you want to start us off here?
Pontiac, that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's Ford Field now. I'm taking the over here. So I wanted to lay the points with the Dolphins, but then my system says to take the team that didn't cover against the team that did says to take Detroit. And so when I got that conflict, I said, let me see what else we're looking at. And the Lions offense has struggled the last couple of weeks. Their defense actually played a little bit better against Dallas before, things got off the rails a bit. Detroit turned the ball over 5 times in the second half against Dallas. That game was 10-6, and they were about to score a touchdown to take the lead, fumbled at the 1-yard line, and then that one just went to hell. And so I guess all of those things would make, one would hear that and say, oh, I should take the under then. But I'm going to kind of reverse course there. I'm going to say the Lions get their offense together a little bit here, and I think the Dolphins are going to score points no matter what. So 50.5 means we're looking at 30 to 20, something like that. So I think the Lions can muster 20 points and we can hit the over here.
So I just want to say that Dallas tried really hard to run the ball on Detroit, and they were okay. They ran the ball okay, but they had a lot of 3-and-outs just trying the ball to Zeke and let him eat. And I think Dak got blamed a lot for that because he was okay throwing the ball in that game. And I think Tua is much better than Dak, and I think he's going to throw the ball over him. So I like your play here.
Yeah, actually,
Andy, I like your play here, Andy.
I like your play too, Al. The Dolphins secondary is beat up. Brandon Jones is hurt now, and Byron Jones is not expected to be back for this game. So we're hurting in the secondary. So I do think it's possible that Detroit puts up some points. But I think Miami's going to put up a ton of points. So I'm taking Miami -3. This could be a homer pick. So, fair warning for anybody who wants to follow. But Miami laying 3. Miami had moved the ball well. They just, had to settle for a bunch of field goals or not field goals sometimes, which is a whole nother story. Take the points, man. Take the points. Take a 2-point lead against a rookie quarterback.
Had some drops in the end zone, some that were clear pass interference where they were like grabbing hands and stuff when they were trying to catch it, and they just weren't called.
I don't know how the Lions are going to cover Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I do not know how they're going to do that. No, I mean, even just those two. There's other weapons, but those two are both going to be running free all day.
Yeah. I sent you guys a stat earlier today that
very dumb.
That the Lions have given up points on every red zone possession that the other team has had this year. They're the only team in the NFL that's happened to. They have not once stopped a team after getting in the red zone. And if you look at Miami's games, they get in the red zone like crazy. Even last night when they only scored 16, they were in the red zone a bunch. They just, didn't kick the field goals or whatever. But yeah, I think Miami covers this easily.
I agree. I like that pick. Let's go over to Minnesota. We got the Cardinals going into Minnesota. Cardinals never really travel east particularly well. And Minnesota's weird. They good defensive side, good offensive side. They're a real contender in the NFC as far as being one of those teams that no one's talking about. And they're good. They're a good team. I'm always scared of Kirk Cousins as far as being the 3:30 to 4 p.m. warrior. He's the champion in their time slot. But I do think the right play here is under 49. I know Arizona looked so much more formidable when they had DeAndre Hopkins back last week. It looked like it opened up everything in the playbook. I just think Minnesota is going to try to minimize that. I'm going to take the under 49 here.
The biggest thing I noticed with having him back is, Kyler Murray hasn't seemed like he's having fun this year, and he's been like yelling at a lot of people and stuff, but DeAndre Hopkins is like a cool and calm presence on that sideline. And when Kyler Murray was sort of starting to get heated, DeAndre Hopkins would come over and put his arm around him and just kind of say, "Hey, man, relax." He was kind of between because Kyler Murray and what's the handsome coach's name?
Cliff Kingsbury.
Kingsbury. They were going at each other's like hard, especially in that first half. And DeAndre Hopkins came over, put his arm around him, and was like, "Hey, man, just relax. We got this." And then once things started to click for him, I mean, it did. It really changed. It really changed the way they were playing. So you're absolutely right. DeAndre Hopkins, huge for that team, more than just his skills on the field. His leadership on the field is big for them.
So I've got two things for you. First, how far down did DeAndre Hopkins have to bend to put his arm around Kyler Murray? That's the first question. And then second thing is, I'm not a big Call of Duty guy, but I heard that some new Call of Duty thing dropped this past weekend. And I have not fact-checked this, but I saw something online that they tracked Kyler Murray's starts after new Call of Duty drops, and he is so much worse the week following a Call of Duty release. Clearly, they needed that study clause in his contract, and he just plays like crap because he spends all his time playing Call of Duty instead of practicing. So for those very silly reasons, I like your bet as well.
Yeah, well, those are good reasons. It's a video game clause.
I like the under. I like the under here, but I would more likely lay the points with Minnesota. The reason I didn't bet Minnesota was because of DeAndre Hopkins being back for Arizona. But I love Kirk Cousins. and that Minnesota team's good. I think their only loss this year is to Philly, who's just been rolling. So I think that brings us to our next one. Andy, you got a couple of things with New Orleans and eyeliner.
I do, and this line is at 2, and 2 is pretty much just a blind tease for me. I'm going to take the dog at +2 and tease them up to +8. So I'm going to do that for sure. I'm going to take New Orleans from +2 to +8. Normally, when I do that, that's either all I bet, or I come back and I bet the -2 on the other side, and I try and get that sweet, sweet middle. It's so beautiful. But I'm not going to do that here. I'm actually, if I was going to take a straight play besides the teaser, I would actually take New Orleans +2. The Raiders looked really good this past weekend, but they were playing the Texans, and the Texans have a young squad that made a lot of mistakes. And I don't think they're going to look that good against the Saints, especially playing in the Superdome. So I'm doubling down on the Saints here. I'm taking New Orleans +2, and I'm teasing them up to +8.
Yeah, I was leaning Raiders here, -2, basically from what you said. And then the Raiders covered last week, and the Saints did not, and that means I should take the Saints and the 2. So having interest on both sides of those, I just washed the board clean on it, so I'm not playing it. But I do really like your little teaser sandwich deal where you take the Raiders straight up and tease the Saints. Who you gonna tease the Saints with?
So it's a little farther down the board. I'm gonna take the Rams. The Rams are +2 with San Francisco coming to town. I'm gonna tease that up to +8.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that game when we get to it. We have a couple of more 1:00 games to get to. Though we've got the Patriots going into the Jets. Al, do you have a play on that one?
Yeah, I'm taking the Patriots. The Jets are hot. They're playing good. The Patriots look bad. They just got whooped by the Bears on Monday night. So everyone's going to want to bet the Jets, especially as short dogs here. But give me the Patriots. I think Bill Belichick knows what to do, knows what he's up against playing this Jets team. And Bailey Zappi, I think he knows he's got a QB1 there, and Mac Jones is going to be resigned to the bench, whether he's injured or not. Yeah, that's it.
I'm actually with you on this play. So we're recording this Monday night right after Monday Night Football has ended, so there aren't any lines up right now. The lines were New England -1 or -1.5 before the Monday Night Football game started, and then they take them down. They'll probably come back up tomorrow morning. I would not be surprised if this line moves based on New England losing to the Bears. It is possible that this reopens tomorrow at a pick'em or even the Jets favored by 1 or 2, in which case I like this even more. If I can get it on the other side and have New England as a dog. Like you said, Belichick's had so much experience facing the Jets, and the Jets just lost their stud rookie running back for the season. Breece Hall has looked amazing, and it hurts me to say any nice things about the Jets, but he has looked amazing, and that's just a sad story for a young kid. He had a good chance of winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. And it's sad that he's done for the year. I know they're bringing in James Robinson from Jacksonville, but that's not the same caliber of player there. So I'm not afraid of that. I think New England gets right here.
Might be after the knee injury. Sorry.
What's that?
It might be after the knee injury. I mean, he's going to slow down.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, I like New England laying the 1. And, again, if it flips, when it reopens tomorrow morning, I like it even more.
Remember, Todd Gurley was one of the best running backs in the NFL, and then knee injuries. But I actually was going to bet the Jets at the +1.5. Actually, I was going to bet them on the money line, but then I didn't because it's the Jets, and I didn't want to because I didn't want to have to root for the Jets. That's the only reason I didn't. I just liked I think the Jets are better than the Patriots, with whether it's Zappi or whatever the Mac Jones guy. They're both sucked. So. Turns out Zappi wasn't that good. He had a couple of good weeks, and I don't think he's that good anymore. So,
guys, can we play a game? How many passes did Russell Wilson throw? Zach Wilson throw more than 5 yards past the line of scrimmage against the Broncos?
I don't know, but the fact you're asking means it has to be a low number.
Maybe
0.
it's
4.
3.
Oh.
3 in that win, right? I think the Jets are a really good team. I think their quarterback is not the guy. Sorry, Joey. But I think the rest of the team's good. And I do think they're a better team than the Patriots are.
The running back is going to hurt them, but they did solve that issue for this season. But what are they trying to make the playoffs? They're not.
They're trying, man. They're trying, and they're the AFC's weird. They may make it.
Yeah, but they're not going to make like a Super Bowl run.
So as Dolphins fans, we need to root for a tie here, right? That's best case scenario for Dolphins fans. Is these two teams tie.
God,
It doesn't really matter. We're better than both of them, so
Agreed. All right, Matt. Why didn't you take us to that last 1 p.m. game?
All right, so I hate this pick. I just want to put it on the front end. Sorry, I'm dying just thinking about it. We got Pittsburgh going into Philadelphia. Philadelphia's been a wagon. Pittsburgh is lacking. This is one of the worst Pittsburgh teams I've seen in a long time. Defense is okay. The offense is not that great. George Pickens is like the highlight. Najee Harris is the slowest running back in the NFL. Is that right, Al? Al was comparing these.
I looked up his 40 when you guys were talking about Justin Fields and Micah Parsons, and slower than both of them.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he is.
that makes sense. Harder to tackle though. Harder to tackle than both of them. But
so I'm laying the 10 with Philadelphia. I hate laying big spreads in the NFL. My thought is the one time that Pittsburgh went on the road as a double-digit spread, they got embarrassed, and that was at Buffalo. And Philadelphia's shown to be the top in the NFC. They're coming off a bye. Pittsburgh's playing on the Sunday night. I think this all lines up pretty well for Philadelphia and up covering this game. I could be clearly wrong here, but if I had to play a side, I'm gonna lay the points with Philadelphia, even if it is 10. That's my thought process there. Hate it.
Yep.
It's too many points in the NFL, but I'm gonna lay the 10 there.
sometimes it's too many points, and then Buffalo just goes and blows somebody out by 40. So.
Look, I keep betting against Philadelphia all year long, and they keep covering like bigger than expected spreads. And look, it's going to end at some point, but this Pittsburgh team, outside of the in-state rivalry, maybe adding a little extra juice to it, and Iron City versus cheesesteaks kind of thing. I just think Philadelphia is a lot better.
I think that Thursday night game made it look closer than it was too, because the Dolphins were much better than that Pittsburgh team. I mean, we were better than them. Like they could not score on us. They were lucky to get any points on our defense. It seemed like, and Pickett was just throwing interceptions to guys that should not be intercepting balls. Those were like our fifth string defensive backs.
No, Holland's pick was really nice. Igbenogany is a bad pass. That's just a bad pass, right? Like that was yeah. Hey, win's a win, right? I just don't think Pittsburgh. I think they're going to be having a tough season. They're going to be looking at a top 10 pick pretty soon.
4 o'clock window. That's where we're at now. Tennessee at Houston. Andy, you got to play?
Yeah, I don't really understand the line here, and that makes me a little nervous. It opened much bigger. It was like Tennessee like -5.5, -6, and I expected it to be around the touchdowns. But so even under a touchdown, I was going to take it. It's dropped all the way to Tennessee -1. I think some of that might have to do with Tannehill's injury. They're not sure if he's going to be able to play because of his ankle. But Tannehill's a tough dude. He's a real tough dude. When he was in Miami, he missed some time with like knee injuries and stuff. But if he had little stuff, he played through it. So I expect him to play. And Tennessee laying 1, even with the game in Houston, that's ridiculous. The Texans are bad. And even if Tannehill's banged up, the Titans still have Derrick Henry. So I will lay the 1.
And Malik Willis has legs, right? He could do a little run around, do a little Justin Fields offense. Yep. So I don't get this, which scares me a little, but I'm taking Tennessee -1.
Texans haven't played a home game in a while. I think you're right. It's probably the line movement is probably due to Tannehill, and he's probably going to play. And he's actually played well injured in the past. So I might follow you here with
I bet you it is an injury thing in that the Sharps they know these things before the line moves, and they probably got Houston +6, and then they're going to know if Tannehill's going to start before anyone else, and they're going to take Tennessee -1, and they're going to hope they get Tennessee winning by a field goal or 4, and they hit both their bets.
The old middle.
The old middle.
Yeah, I will remind you, Davis Mills covers spreads at home. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to just put it there. He covers spreads at home. But yes, Tennessee's a lot better than Houston. Let's go to Indianapolis where, Sam Ellinger is hosting the Commanders in the Green Lizard. Al, what you got on this?
Yeah, so this is one of those plays where the Commanders covered last week and the Colts did not, and that would typically say take the Colts in this situation, especially at home. But the Colts are starting Sam Ellinger, and I mean, come on, this is obvious. This is going to be Washington's going to win this one. I should actually go bet the money line right now. But instead, I'll just take Washington +5, and this will be my Chuggy Bet play of the week. If you want to lock that one in. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I don't know why this one hasn't moved 10
I have
points.
one statistic to tell you about this game, and that is that Sam Ellinger played in 3 games last year, and the Colts won all 3. Now, he attempted 3 passes. They were all complete for 9 yards, I believe, in those games. But he played in 3 games, and they won them all. So he's undefeated in games that he played in the NFL. And he was a winner at Texas. He was a winner at Texas, so
he's due to lose. Okay.
Everybody always thought Texas was back after 6 games when he was there. So
I actually have to dip out early here, gentlemen. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna step out. But you just want to lock that in. Washington +5 is my Chuggy Bet.
Yep, no worries, but we got you.
It feels like a good money line spot here.
Mhm.
I'm not buying Indianapolis. Maybe they have a little bit of a bounce, but I kind of like Heineke with Washington. He's shown that he has potential. He's got a lot of fight to him. I think it's the right play. I would probably lay the points with Washington. I think I'm going to join him on this. Let's go to Los Angeles, where the 49ers are coming in to face the Rams. Andy, you got something here, right?
Yeah, and I already mentioned it earlier. With my teaser, I was teasing New Orleans up, so I'm also gonna add another team to that, which is the Rams here, teasing them same thing, +2 up to +8. They're at home. San Fran didn't look good last week. I know they played a really good Kansas City team, but now they have to go on the road and play a Rams team that's coming off their bye. So 8 points is a lot in the NFL. I'm going to tease it and hope that both comes through for me.
Yeah, the Rams have been a puzzle this year. They have to get it right? Like, I know, like, they're the classic example, like, player, you play players, you don't play plays, but their players don't look like they have it as much. Jalen's been getting burned. Aaron Donald's so great, but Stafford's been a problem too. They got to put it all together at some point, right? Nate, if you could tease it up to 8, I feel like it's the right play here. Danny, you get something to add.
yeah, I just don't think it's the right play. I wouldn't add this one in the teaser. I think that I just don't know. The Rams haven't really impressed me at all this year, and I would be really scared of them losing by 10 to San Francisco because, Kittle can run block, and didn't they just grab a new running back that's going to be playing for them this week? A pretty good one. Yeah, he's pretty good. And Kittle likes to push guys on their back, and Indianapolis's defense has guys that are going to get pushed on their back by Kittle. So.
And Jimmy G is a really great game manager. I know that is like a criticism, but he's good at it, right? Like, he's not going to go out and win you a game, but he rarely loses them.
Do you know who game managers like to throw to? Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, they do. And Kittle.
And Kittle, yeah, exactly. Their offense is built for him.
All right, let's go to the final 425 game. The most surprising game. I'm going to say the most surprising game of the year.
I can't believe how confident I am in this bet, because I shouldn't be, because the Giants, I think, have more wins than the Seahawks, right?
They do. Giants are 6-1.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks are 5-2. Seahawks are 5-2 or something like that. And I can't believe that I think either of these quarterbacks can play. judging by the season. But yeah, Geno Smith, man, I'm gonna keep betting on him.
Keep riding the train.
I turned real quick when I talked shit about him early in the season, and then I've been betting on him since, and it's been working. So why stop now?
Andy, you want to add something to this?
I mean, I really want to take the Giants +3. Like, it's physically hurting me to not take the Giants +3 here, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because I'm done losing money on Geno Smith. I have a question for you guys though. Do you think the Giants make the playoffs?
Yeah.
I don't think they're good, but I think they have to make the playoffs at 6-1, right? Like, even if they go 3-6, no, 6, 3-6 down the stretch, like they'll be
17 games out.
Yeah,
17 games now. So they'd have to go to miss the playoffs. They'd have to go 3-7.
And I don't know.
The
like,
Giants.
Their division is tough, right? It's
Yeah.
tougher than we expected between Philadelphia and Dallas is playing really well defensively.
Didn't they already lose to Philly once though?
Did they? I don't know. I don't care about the Giants.
Let's see here. They lost to the Cowboys.
Okay. So they haven't played Philly yet.
They have not played Philly yet.
Okay, so they have 2 games against Philly and 1 against the Cowboys left, and those are I don't know, that the Cowboys game they could win the other one, but they'll probably lose 2 of those games to Philly. That you
Look, I don't think they're particularly good, and I don't think Seattle's particularly good. I think they're both. I think it's like fake hype at this point, but I mean, I think Seattle's probably the right play, right? Kenneth Walker has been the difference there. He's been really good on the as far as the running back they needed. And that dude was great at Michigan State, and he's been awesome the last couple of games. I think they found that like their premier back. They don't have to do the Rashard Penny like shuffle anymore. We're like, is Penny good? Is he bad? They just know like, hey, we got our guy. They still have great wide receivers, and if Geno Smith's going to be good,
man, dude, such good wide receivers.
I know they're awesome.
Lockett is awesome, and then what's the freak
Metcalf?
Metcalf. They're amazing. That offense is they have really good players, so I think that might have be what's carrying Geno here more so than Geno.
I know for a fact Metcalf got hurt in this past game. I don't know how serious it was. Do we know if he's going to be back?
I haven't seen anything about it.
It was hilarious. He was on the cart going into the locker room, which is obviously not hilarious. That's terrible. But the announcer was saying, last time this happened, we found out after the game he just needed to use the restroom.
He was scared he was going to shit his pants on the way back to the toilet, which is
pulled
great.
a Paul Pierce.
I wish he had the Paul. I was just going to say that the Paul Pierce wheelchair. He's like, oh, is it a serious injury? And then he comes out after taking a shit.
Nope, I just pooped myself.
Is it more embarrassing to get taken off by the cart to take a shit or in the wheelchair?
So the cart to take a shit he did because it's faster. He didn't actually shit himself is what the word on the street was. It was that it was faster to get to the bathroom in and out that way than it is to try and walk. Word on DK Metcalf is it was a very scary looking injury, but there's no word on whether or not he's play, which is good news based on the way it looked.
But how about the word on Paul Pierce? Did he shit himself?
Absolutely. He's admitted it now, hasn't he?
Was it one of those now? Was it one of those things where he was scared he was gonna shit himself on the wall?
He pooped himself. I think he pooped his pants. I think he said it on TV.
No, he strongly denied that he shit himself. But the whole internet.
He did for a long time. For a long time he did, but I think he's since come out. We'll have to do some investigative reporting into this in the offseason. But real quick, you guys didn't like my do the Giants make the playoffs question, but here I found an actual bet online. It's with the Jets and the Giants, right? For one of them to make the playoffs and one of them to miss the playoffs. Doesn't matter which one's which. Minus 350. For them to both make the playoffs, plus 235. For them to both miss it, plus 450.
Okay, so who would be the one that would be left out? I gotta assume it's the Jets.
The Jets are going to get left out
because of the division, right? Like the Bills are going. Have they played the Bills yet? Let's do a Jets schedule.
So the thing is that the Jets have had a very lucky schedule, and then they won some good games.
Yeah, if you looked at the list of quarterbacks that the Jets have beaten, Aaron Rodgers is on there. But apart from that, it's Skylar Thompson, it's Brett Ripon, right? Like it's not an impressive list of quarterbacks.
So the Jets have to play the Patriots, the Bills, the Patriots, Bears, Vikings, Bills, Lions, Jags.
The Patriots who
Seahawks.
just got rolled by Justin Fields, who had been averaging 60 yards passing before today.
I think the Jets' problem is I don't think Daniel Jones is bad, right? As far as the Giants are concerned, I think he's good enough. The Giants don't have very good wide receivers at all.
They gave all that money to Galladay, and then he just kind of just took it.
Kenny Galladay, where he came to the Dolphins for like a week, caught one ball, and he's like, all right, that's it. IR. Put me on that IR list, baby. The problem with the Jets is I don't think their quarterback's very good, and I think it'd eventually be exposed. That would be my concern there. But I don't know. The Jets are surprising. They're really good. They're good. Sauce Gardner's been great.
They had a great draft, man. They had a great 2 drafts in a row. That's what it takes to really turn your team around.
It would be shocking if they catch the Bills, right? Like if they win the division. I think it's shocking, right? So it's wild card or nothing.
So who do you guess is going to come in second place in the division?
I mean,
if you predicted
Dolphins.
Homer's going to homer?
I would homer, and I would say the Dolphins because I'm going to guess Tua is going to be healthy the rest of the season, which it's a big if because he keeps running head first into linebackers. But he did get rid of the ball pretty well this last game, and he didn't take any sacks, or any scary sacks.
And we all played the same schedule, right? So they're going to play the same NFC North teams and AFC North teams that we've had to play, right? So like that'll all level out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But we have the win over the Bills, and I think that's going to be a big win. We're going to go to Orchard Park, and Buffalo is going to beat the Dolphins by 30 in December or January, whatever the hell that game is going to be. But the fact that we have the win over the Bills, I think, is going to be like the separator there.
We're going to have to beat the Jets next time.
Is that the last game of the season, though, Matt?
Say again?
Is that the last game of the season when we go up?
No, we face the Jets at home for Week 17, which, looking into the season, you would have thought was a shit game. I think that could be
to make the wild card. It could be to
win and get in. That could be something that gets like flexed out to like a more of a primetime game, depending on what the schedule is. Especially with the Jets sitting at what are they 5-2, and the Dolphins are at 4-3.
4-3.
Could be an interesting ball. All right, let's get back to our Dolphins schedule. We got Al's favorite is Washington +5. Andy, what do you like?
I know Danny already said he doesn't like it, but I'm not scared. I'm actually going to make my teaser my favorite bet of the week. That's going to be my chuggy bet. Is New Orleans and the Rams both.
I love the New Orleans leg.
Well, it has to have 2 legs. So
I know. I just want to let you know I don't hate the whole thing. I love the New Orleans leg, and there may be another +2 you can get in there at some point. Like I'd rather if the Carolina bet dropped down to +2.5 and you took that one teased up to 8. I'd like that better than the. Actually, I'd rather you just add the 4.5 and tease that up to 10.5. To be honest, I
appreciate that, and that's actually a good point. Is that generally teasers work better if you wait till later in the week because it's like the true number, the closing number. So I usually wait until like Saturday, and there's generally more of them than there are this early in the week. So there's gonna be 4 or 5 of them to choose from generally on a Saturday. So.
Yeah, like the Jacksonville might. I'm going to do the Jacksonville -3, but I was going to say the Denver +3 might end up being a 2.5 number. You never know.
Yep.
All right, so you got Jacksonville -3.
Yeah, we talked about that game enough already. I don't need to go back into my quarterback thesis.
I'm going to go Chicago Dallas under 43. I think it's the right play. I think Dallas's defense has been great. Their special teams have been great. They're going to make the field really short. I'm glad Justin Fields has been good, and I'm happy for him. Playing in Dallas, I think it's going to be a big, big difference for him, and I think he's in for a rough game. If the spread wasn't so big, I like Dallas there, but this spread's like 11 points. It's way too big.
Not a lot of teams have a defensive lineman that's faster than Justin Fields.
Well, and Dexter Lawrence on the other side is awesome. They've got a good line. They have a good defense. Dallas has a legitimately good defense. And it's nothing I ever attribute to Dallas. I always think of them being like the kind of like flashy offensive team that could never put it all together. Their defense is good.
They always have two really good defensive ends. I feel like they always do.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Ware was there for a long time. Yeah, they always have really good pass rush.
Anyone on the money line we like? I kind of want to eyeball the Washington game. I think with everything going on with Indianapolis, that number looks favorable. I know they're a good team. Washington's really feast or famine. I like them a lot better at home, but I think there's something to look at. Do you guys like anything money line?
Just that Washington game, but no.
Carolina.
Oh, you think Carolina's going on a win streak, eh?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So
I
Washington.
mean, I know we usually skip
Carolina.
I know we usually skip the Sunday night game, but it's a spicy money line. I like Green Bay to maybe upset Buffalo.
Wow, that is spicy. I actually like Green Bay with the points there.
I'm betting the 11. We're gonna give that on the TikTok later. I'm giving it out now. Giving it out now.
I like the
breaking the rules. Breaking the rules. I'm taking the 11, but I like the money line. I think it's like 350 or 400 or something.
That is spicy. Halloween weekend in Buffalo. Can't think of a better time.
Let me look up the number so I'm giving an accurate number.
So real quick, we don't have to talk about this very long, but while I was looking for those Jets-Giants playoff
425.
numbers, I also found two props. Will Aaron Rodgers announce retirement before week 1 of next season? And the same thing for Tom Brady. And the yeses are -300 and -500. Like the book thinks that they're done. So if you don't think they're going to retire,
I'm going to bet the no for sure.
You get Rodgers no at +200.
Hey,
and
on
Brady
Rodgers,
no
it
at
seems like
+300.
I feel like the
Isn't Aaron
Rodgers knows.
Rodgers just got a big contract for 2 years, right?
Yeah, but he's not having fun, man. And does he need the money? Like,
You got to turn down $50 million.
if I already have hundreds of millions in the bank, I'm not doing anything that's not fun. Like, if I'm not having fun for 30 seconds, I'm out.
I feel like $50 million is still a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
Even after all the taxes and everything, it's still $25 million. And
There's
they don't have
nothing-
as much in the bank as you think they do.
There's nothing in the world that I want to do that can't be done for $100 million. Like, I'm a simple man. Like, I don't need $150 million. $100 million will do me just fine.
$150 million is compared to your $100 million. You're also a very financially savvy person.
The thing is that once you have all of the money that you need, then everything else is gravy, right? So, like, it's just an extra $25 million.
Right, which is why I don't want to do it for something that's not fun. All right,
What do
we
you
should
think
wrap
he will
this.
do instead? Do you think he wants? You think if the Jeopardy job was back, he would take it? I always thought it was weird. I thought he wanted that Jeopardy job, and I think they wanted him to have it because I think it would be an interesting partnership. And he would only get paid like $8 or $10 million, which is like boo the hell who, $8 to $10 million. But we're talking about him turning down $50 million here. So
$8 or $10 million increased by inflation forever.
it's true. You can do it forever. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining our conversation on Aaron Rodgers' next job. We appreciate it. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share the word. We're really trying to make good content out here for y'all. We've been pulling out winners, so we appreciate everyone's time. And good night, Joey.
Good night, Joey.
Joey.